And good morning to you. It's time for the Bravo Town Sports right here on the Community Radio Network. Hope you're having a great day. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I know we did. Trey, Snide for the Community Radio Network and the beat writer for the Bravo Town Sports, Mr. Jordan Crane. Good morning, my friend. How are we today?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How was your 4th of July? I'm not sure we spoke really. We spoke during the All-Star Derby the Home Run Derby last night, but how was your 4th of July weekend?
It was very good. Hope you had a great 4th as well, spending time with family and your little one and enjoying some fireworks and some grilling out. So it was a good weekend for us, too.
Oh, absolutely. We got to go down to where I'm from, went to high school, back in the Clayton area, Clayton, North Carolina, and it turned into mini vacation, but also turned into work. So you can't. It's kind of 50-50 win-win for everybody. So it worked out good. So we have a full show lined up. We'll be here for about 30 minutes or so right here on the Community Radio Network and Bravo Time Sports. We're live every Monday morning, kicking off right here at 8 a.m. in the morning. Again, Trey, Snide, Jordan Crane for about 30 minutes or so. We have the Home Run Derby talk. We have a little All-Star game talk, and then we have the second half watch for your Atlanta Braves. So we're going to kick off with you, my friend Jordan. What do you think of the new format for the Home Run Derby in last night's game?
I actually liked it a lot. I thought there was more at stake, especially with the money that the players actually get to win. That was actually really cool. And I guess the money that they won just so happened to be more money than just about all of them make on a yearly basis. So that was kind of cool too. I thought that the Derby was great. It was awesome to see that, there was fans there from 4:00 until the Derby ended. Nobody left because everybody was on their toes. Pete Alonso, the winner, he walked off in every single round. And then kind of similar to Bryce Harper did last year. So it was great. Can't say enough about Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Vladdy Jr. Can't say enough about him. And even Jacques Peterson. Yeah. He showed up and he was swinging it too. I think he wore out Vlad Jr. for Pete Alonso, if I'm being honest. So I think it was a great Derby. I felt like it was great for the fans. Everybody was invested. Balls appeared to be a little juiced. They were flying. But you know what? That's okay. It is what it is. It's a home run derby. You want to see home runs. And it was awesome to see Vlad break the record and then break his own record the next round later. That was pretty cool.
Well, I agree with that, and we'll get into the juice here in just a few moments because the American League starter in Verlander came out and said some interesting things last night right before the home run derby to the commissioner of Major League Baseball. So we're going to get into that as well before our talk about the All-Star game. But no, this format for this home run derby this year I thought was the best I've seen in quite some time. Yes, the balls looked a little bit flying more than usual because when you can hit continuously, 450, 460, even Vlad, he hit a one that was 488. So that's pretty impressive. I know back in early 2002, Sammy Sosa hit one that was over 500 feet. And then he hit 4 in a row that was right at 500. So it's happened before, and back then it was due to the fact that they were himself as a human being were juiced. Now the balls are juiced. So That's a whole different conversation for another day. But, Vlad was fantastic. I thought Chapman was put into a really rough situation coming in with only literally a week and a half to prepare for, and not even that. It might have been less than a week to be the number one overall.
Found out Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Sunday morning he found out. So it was right at about a day and a half.
Wow. And so it was back in, jump back a little bit to his childhood days, and everybody's already seen it and heard it, that him and his dad who was also the bullpen pitcher for him last night, that was throwing the balls to him during the home run derby. This was one of their dreams to do, and unfortunately it just kind of came up against a guy in Vlad Jr., or Guerrero Jr., that you had no chance against, because once he swung that first one, I was like, yeah, well, sorry, chap. It's over for you, my friend. And it was just it was fun to watch in not only the first round, because Bregman, he did some work too. But then Jock Peterson, did his thing, but in the American League side, it was the 1, 8, 4, and 5 matchups were just, it was fun to watch. And then you move into the other one with Pete Alonso and Santana and Bell and Acuna. I was just hoping that Acuna would make it out of the first round, because we have never, out of 4 times ever been in the home run derby for Major League during the All-Star tournament, not one Brave has ever surpassed the first round. So I was pretty ecstatic that he looked impressive, going on YouTube and so all of social media. The one swing that hit this 24th, it was while he was blowing a gum bubble. So that was pretty epic. So that was interesting. It was good to see that he beat up against Bell, who looked overmatching against Acuna Jr. But it was good to see him, and I think the next round versus Pete Alonso, he just tired out. He gave up after 19. He's like, you know what? If he beats me, he beats me, but I am just worn slap out. And
oh yeah, did you see that he walked away in his when he got his 30-second bonus? He walked away with 4 seconds left during that 30-second bonus. Yeah. He was just done.
Yeah,
he was tired.
I can't even imagine. Look, I get tired. I come shoot some basketball with my 2-year-old here in the front yard or in the driveway, and I am worn slap out after a couple minutes. That's just because my dad bod has kicked in. I haven't really worked out. It's my own fault. But I get worn out. So it's hard to believe that these guys have to go up there literally for 4 minutes and continuously just swing a bat and try to hit it over 400 feet. It's hard to believe, but this year was a fun tournament, especially, and I'm not even kidding, when my wife sits from the first pitch until the last pitch, something is good, because especially sports-wise, she's not a big fan of the home run derby normally, and she's not a big fan of the All-Star game as well. But she's going to watch that because obviously Freddie Freeman and Acuna is going to be a starter. Big fan of obviously Freddie Freeman. Couldn't talk enough about his son last night. They were on the shoulders of Freddie Freeman, so that's all she really talked about. But other than that, she had a good time watching it, and it was just fun, especially the Guerrero and the Peterson matchup, where he hit 40, he hit 39. Whoever would have won that matchup, I don't really think, in my opinion, and this has nothing really to do with our conversation this morning, but I don't believe that the 3 swings should have counted towards the record. I think those should have been off the record. Whoever won that matchup would have gone on, because that 40 home runs that he hit in that one round, yes, it was 40, but during the round itself, it was only 29 in the first round. And I don't think the extra should have really counted, but what do I know? We're just broadcasters. It is what it is. But it was fun. It was a fun home run derby. It was something that we're going to literally remember for quite some time. And, leading up into our next discussion about the All-Star game, we have the let's make sure I get all my stuff ready to go. But yeah, so it's obviously in Cleveland at Progressive Field over there in Cleveland, Ohio. Unfortunately, of course, the year that it goes down to Cleveland, my dad moves from Cleveland to the North Carolina area. So I didn't get a chance to go up there that I would love to. To go up there, but are you looking forward to the All-Star game? Do you really pay attention to the All-Star game? How are you viewing this year?
My view this year is pretty much similar to how it is every year, which is, as you and I were talking before we went on the air, I stayed up a little bit later last night than I should have due to the celebrity softball game. I enjoy that. It's funny. I don't necessarily watch it to see the good plays because there aren't very many. It's just hilarious watching people get out and try to play this game that we love so much and really understand how difficult it is, and they're just playing slow pitch softball. So it's the same thing with the All-Star game. I enjoy watching it because you get to see friends get together. You get to see just players that are friends that may not get to see each other very much because they're on opposite, one's on the West Coast, one's on the East Coast. They don't play each other very much. They're in different leagues, whatever. I just like seeing it for the camaraderie. I don't necessarily pay attention to the score. Obviously, it's a game. I'm a National League fan, therefore I would like to see the National League win. I want to see Freddie Freeman do something. I want to see Ronald Acuna do something. I want to see Mike Soroka do something. Those things matter, obviously. I would like to see the National League win, but I don't necessarily pay attention to that portion of it. I just like watching it because I think it's a time for these guys to really get to know who they're playing against on a regular basis, but yet they're playing on the same team for one night, and I think that's really cool.
I'm looking forward to see how obviously the Atlanta Braves do during the All-Star. I would love to see we kick off with a bang. It has by Vegas. It has the American League have an upper hand against the National League this year. Obviously with names like a Mike Trout and Bregman and Santana and Sanchez. You look at that and say, well, they have a pretty good chance. But then you also look at the big-time players over in the National League. Bellinger, who leads the majors right now in home runs. Ronald Acuna, one of the best young players in the game. Christian Yelich, former MVP. Arenado, former MVP. Baez, former MVP. I mean, so you have, obviously you look at it, and these are the best and the best in the world. We understand that. But you see the projection between the American League. It always kind of favors the American League majority of because it has that one player in Mike Trout, but it never fails. They only play a couple innings at the most anyway. We don't want him to get hurt. But what kind of projection are you seeing with how this is going to turn out? The money line is in favor of the American League this year.
Well, normally, like you said, the American League is favored, and that's because regardless of how Braves fans feel about, offense, yes, Atlanta has a great offense this year. However, we are normally a pitching-rich organization. This game is an offensive game. It always has been, and therefore the American League usually is the upper hand because there's more offense in the American League. And anytime you're playing in an American League ballpark, the American League is going to have an even bigger upper hand. And so I really think that American League is going to pull this one out this year. I do know that, Dave Roberts yesterday released his thoughts, his ideal scenario of how things play out for his pitching. I know he's starting off with Ryu, and then he's moving on to Kershaw, and he said something about DeGrom after that. So I would love to see that the National League gets pulled out because there is so many